Have you ever found yourself in a situation where money was extremely tight? Where you were stressed about how to pay the bills and put food on the table? This happened to a friend of mine. A few years back, he lost his job unexpectedly right when his car decided to completely break down on him. Just when he thought things couldn't get any worse, he ended up with a hefty medical bill after an emergency room visit. Within a couple of months, his savings had dwindled and he found himself broke and overwhelmed. It was one of the most difficult periods of his life. He was constantly anxious and ashamed that he couldn't get his finances in order. But, you know what? He made it through to the other side. He's now financially strong, runs a small business on the side, and recently gifted jewelry to his wife. In this video, I want to share with you the lessons and tips that I learned from him. These are the learnings that helped him get back on his feet. First off, I need you to know that experiencing financial hardship is incredibly common. Surveys show that almost every person will have money troubles at some point in their life. There will be a period of bad karma for each of us, and we have to face the music. But with the right mindset, right help, and intelligent decisions, we can definitely bounce back. And the first step in this process is to avoid panic. 1. Don't panic. Diagnose the problem. When you realize you're broke, that initial panic and shame can be brutal. Your mind compares your financial situation to just about everyone you meet and makes you feel embarrassed. You need to understand that your life is completely different from theirs and need to stop stressing. You need a clear head to diagnose what went wrong. Was it a loss of income after a job change? Or have your daily expenses slowly crept up over time? Take a pen and paper and write down why you think you ended up in this situation. Be honest about the root causes. It helps you later in making an effective plan to tackle the problem head-on. 2. Make a game plan. Once you understand what got you into this financial rut, it's time to develop a game plan for climbing out. Gather all your financial info like pay stubs, bills, bank statements, etc. Then, on one side, list out your absolutely essential expenses like rent, groceries, and utilities. On the other side, list the non-essentials you may need to cut temporarily, like going out to eat, gym memberships, weekly trips, and OTT subscriptions. This will show you how much you truly need to cover basics versus what's draining money needlessly. 3. Separate the wheat from the chaff. You may need to deeply rethink what qualifies as a necessity for now. When I was broke, cheap meals like rice and lentils became the norm. I stopped going out with friends, avoided weekend plans, and canceled any instances of eating out. For you, it could be refraining from going to the pub every weekend or boozing every other day. You may need to make some emotionally tough sacrifices for a while until you're back on your feet. And in some serious situations, even bigger changes are required. 4. Make tough choices. Depending on how dire your financial situation is, you may need to make some really difficult, major decisions that go beyond just cutting expenses. That could mean selling your car or home and downsizing significantly, or finally dealing with those pile of debts head-on by negotiating with lenders. These big moves can be overwhelming but may provide the reset you desperately need to get out of broke territory. Of course, there are also community resources to leverage. 5. Use community resources. There's no shame in taking advantage of public assistance and aid programs when you genuinely need the support. Food stamps, job seekers resources, local charities, and organizations. These were created to help struggling families get through rough patches like this. Don't be too proud to also lean on your friend and family network for temporary help, whether that's a place to stay, a loan, or just emotional support. We all need it sometimes. But you also need to find ways to increase your income. 6. Earn income any way possible. While dealing with this financial crisis, leave no stone unturned in finding ways to generate extra income. Sign up for freelance gigs, food delivery jobs, selling your unused stuff, anything to get more cash flow coming in. At this point, do not be ashamed or embarrassed to take up any opportunity that comes into your contact. Every little bit makes the climb out of broke territory easier. When my friend was dead broke, he started selling anything he could around his apartment: clothes, electronics, furniture, you name it. He became a pro at using apps like OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace. Heck, he even walked neighborhood dogs and did random handyman tasks around people's homes for cash under the table. It was humbling work, but it put money in his pocket. And the last 2 steps. 7. Take care of yourself. I know how mentally and emotionally draining being broke can be. The stress, shame, and uncertainty can really take a toll. But make sure to still prioritize your well-being through self-care activities like exercise, surrounding yourself with loved ones, or seeing a therapist if needed. And don't forget to celebrate small wins along the way too, like sticking to your new budget or paying off a little debt. This will keep you motivated for the long journey ahead of rebuilding your finances. 8. Rebuild your financial safety net. Once you've made it through this valley and are back on solid financial ground, it's time to take steps to ensure you never face the same broke struggles again. First, build an emergency fund with 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses so you have a buffer. Next, continue educating yourself on proper money management skills like budgeting and getting ahead of any debts. Finally, invest in your financial education through courses and training so you can increase your future earnings potential. Overcoming being broke is a transformative experience if you use those lessons to set yourself up for lasting financial security. I hope sharing this story and these tips gives you a game plan to climb out of your financial hole, one step at a time. Being broke is brutal, but it's temporary. If you approach this with resilience and hustle, you will get through this. Don't let the struggle defeat you.